Happy morning, students. How are you all? Hope you all will be fine, isn't it? Okay. Today we are going to learn an interesting poem, but you have to guess it. What poem and which poem we are going to learn today. Okay. By seeing this picture, can you guess? In this picture, there is a happiness and sadness. In our life, we have to cross many stages to become a well-natured person, isn't it? Likewise, Shakespeare has skillfully brought out the parallels between the life of man and actors on stage. Okay, in our life, we have to face ups and downs, isn't it? So we have to cross many stages. What are the stages? Can you guess? Yes. By seeing this picture, do you have any idea what it represents? Yes, these children are acting on the stage. So likewise, Shakespeare, in this poem, he has skillfully brought out the parallels between the life of man and actors on the stage. Okay, today we are going to learn the poem All the World Stage. Do you know what is the meaning of all the world stage? Yes. Do you know who is the poet? This is the poem, All the World Stage. What is mean by all here? Here, all represent everyone to the people. Then the world. Do you know the meaning of world? Yes. Then stage means it is a performing platform. So the poem name is All the World's a Stage. So here, everyone in this world, we are acting on the stage. So this is the meaning of the poem. And do you know who is the poet here? Yes, can anyone? Yes. And in this poem, Shakespeare says and he describes various stages of human life. And life has been compared to a play or drama played by every man and woman on the stage of the world. And all the world stage, the phrase here, all the world's a stage, is the beginning of a monologue from William Shakespeare's As You Like It, and it was spoken by Jacques in Act 2, Scene 7. And here, Shakespeare compares the world to a stage and life to a play and catalogs the 7 stages of a man's life. So, this is one of Shakespeare's most frequently quoted passages. So, now we can see about the poet. Who is the poet here? William Shakespeare. So everyone in this world may know about William Shakespeare because he was a prolific writer. So now let us see. William Shakespeare, he was born on 1564, was a prolific writer during the Elizabethan and Jacobean ages of British theatre, sometimes called the English Renaissance. So Shakespeare, he was born on 1564 and he was considered as a prolific writer, means he was considered as a famous writer during which period? Elizabethan and Jacobean ages of British theatre. So in those days, the people, they were performing on the theatre and on stage, sometimes called the English Renaissance. Renaissance means here rebirth. Then Shakespeare's plays are perhaps his most enduring legacy, but they are not the only things he wrote. Next, Shakespeare's poems remain popular to this day. So, we know about Shakespeare. His poems were very popular and still it remains popular nowadays. So, nowadays we are reading Shakespeare poem, dramas, etc. Shakespeare's rich and diverse works have spawned countless adaptations across multiple genres and cultures. So, his writings have been compiled in various iterations of the complete works of William Shakespeare, which include all his plays, sonnets, and other poems. What is my sonnet, sir? It is a 14-line poem. And William Shakespeare continues to be one of the most important literary figures of the English language. So, William Shakespeare still he continues to be one of the most important literary figures of the English language. So, if we read Shakespeare poem, dramas, will be very, very interesting and inspirational. And he has written also comedy also. Then his dramas are Romeo and Juliet, Macbeth, Julius Caesar, etc. So here William Shakespeare continues to be so. Still we are celebrating him as one of the most important literary figures of the English language. So for English language, still we are celebrating him one of the most important literary figures. So again I will read you. William Shakespeare was a prolific writer during the Elizabethan and Jacobean ages of British theatre, which is sometimes called the English Renaissance. Shakespeare's plays are perhaps his most enduring legacy, but they are not the only things he wrote. Shakespeare's poems remain popular to this day. Shakespeare's rich and diverse works have spawned countless adaptations across multiple genres and cultures. His writings have been compiled in various iterations of the complete works of William Shakespeare, which include all his plays, sonnets, and other poems. William Shakespeare continues to be one of the most important literary figures of the English language. So, William Shakespeare is one of the most important literary figures of the English language. So, in this poem, he compares the world to a stage and life to a play and catalogues the 7 stages of a man's life. So, do you know what is the 7 stages? Yes. The first one is an infant crying. Second stage, a complaining schoolboy. Third stage, a lover. Fourth stage, a bearded soldier. Fifth stage, a wise justice. Sixth stage, an old man. Seventh stage, the last stage is again a second childhood. So these are the 7 stages of human's life. He beautifully picturized these 7 stages. So what is meant by an infant crying? What is the meaning of an infant? It's a newborn baby. So in this stage, the child was completely under the maintenance of the mother. Then in second stage, a complaining schoolboy. Do you know you are all in which stage? Yes, students, you are all in now second stage because you are all school going student and you have crossed and everyone you have crossed the first stage. What is the first stage? An infant crying. So now you are all in second stage. That is a complaining schoolboy. Then the third one is a lover. In this stage, he will learn education, arts, and sports. So today totally we are having 7 stages, but in today's class we are going to learn about only 3 stages. So what is the first stage? An infant crying. Then second stage, a complaining schoolboy. Third stage, a lover. So this poem is, we will be going to very interesting poem. Let us see one by one. So these are the stages. The first stage. What is the first stage? Infant. Then stage 2 is childhood. Then in schoolboy, complaining schoolboy. Third stage is lover. Fourth stage is soldier. Then fifth stage is justice. Sixth stage, again the old man, he loses everything. Then the last stage is second, childhood. So these are the stages of 7 stages of human's life. What is the first stage? Infant. So in this stage, the child was completely under the maintenance of mother. In stage 2, entering the outer world and school. In the third stage, he was learning education, arts, and sports. So the fourth stage, time of physical and mental growth. Then the fifth stage, time for planning higher studies and future career. Then the sixth stage, time for maintaining family and fulfilling promises. So the last stage, he will lose everything. He become again like a childhood. So these are the 7 stages of human's life, and now we are all acting on the stage. So let us see one by one. So before going to the poem, I will read the poem. Just you listen carefully. All the world's a stage. They have their exits and their entrances. And one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first the infant, mewling and cooking in the nurse's arms. Then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face creeping like snail, unwilling to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow. Then a soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the page, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation, even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly with good cap on light, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances. And so he plays his part. The 60th age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side. His youthful force, well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank and his big manly voice, turning again towards childish treble pipes and whistles in his song. Last scene of all that ends this strange eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion, sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans taste, sans everything. So, have you understood, students? Again, I will read you the poem. All the world's a stage. Just listen carefully, students. If you listen, you will be understanding. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first the infant, mewling and cooking in the nurse's arms. Then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail, unwilling to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow. Then a soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the part, jealous in honor, sudden and quick-winged quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation. Even in the cannon's mouth, and then the justice in fair round belly with good cap on light, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise sauce and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The sixth age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon with spectacles on nose and pouch on side. His youthful host well saved a world too wide for his shrunk shank and his big manly voice, turning again toward childish treble pipes and whistles in his song. Last scene of all that ends this strange, eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. So this is the poem, All the World's a Stage. So here we can see line by line. So in this poem, we can see the line by line. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. So what does it mean? All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. So all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. So here the poet considers the whole world as a stage. So here the whole world is considered as a stage, and he compares the world to a stage. He thought all men, here all men and women, behave like the actors of a drama. So all the men and women are the players. The word players here refers to actors. So again I will tell you, all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. So here the poet considers the whole world as a stage, and he also compares the world to a stage because why he compares the world to a stage, because he thought all men and women behave like the actors of a drama, and here all the men and women are the players, and the players here refers to the actors. So we are all acting on the stage, and he considers the whole world to a stage, and we are all, and all the men and women, we are all acting on this stage. So this is the meaning of the first two lines. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. We are simply playing our parts on the stage. Next slide is, they have their exits and their entrances. What do you mean by exits here? Exits means death. Entrance means birth. So here the players have their exits and entrances in the world. They refers to men and women. So everyone, exits means everyone entering into the world by birth, and exits means everyone going by death. So this is the meaning of the line. They have their exits and their entrances. So all the players are having exits and their entrances. The players enters into the world through birth and exits the world through death. So this is the meaning of this line. What is the meaning of entrance? Birth, and exit means death. So he considers the players entering into the world through birth and exits to the world through death. And one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being seven ages. So here one man here refers to men and women, and parts, you can see the glossary. Time means lifetime. Parts here refers to characters, and ages here refers to period or periods of time. So what does it mean? Here they refers to men and women, and in his time means in his lifetime. In his lifetime, the man plays many parts. What are the many parts here? Parts here refers to characters. And his acts being 7 ages. So there are 7 stages in his lifetime and he plays many parts, means many characters. So again I'll tell you, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. So the players have their exits and entrances in the world, and they refers to men and women. And here parts refers to characters in a drama. So a one man plays many parts in his lifetime, many characters in his lifetime, and his acts being 7 ages. By seeing this picture, you can know about that 7 ages: infant, then schoolboy, lover, soldier, justice, then old man, then second childishness. So this is the glossary of this line. Time means lifetime. Parts here refers to characters. Ages here refers to periods of time. How interesting poem, oh, this is how he has written Shakespeare. It is very interesting poem. Next one. At first, the infant mewling and cooking in the nurse's arms. So, what is mean by infant? Newborn baby. At first, what's the first stage here? Infant. Mewling and cooking in the nurse's arms. What does it mean? Here, nurse's arms means mother is known as a nurse's arms. What is the poet here saying? Mewling means a small, weak noise that a cat makes. You can know that cat music, cat voice, meow meow like this. Then cooking means vomiting. What is the meaning of this line? At first the infant. So at first the man plays the role of an infant, mewling and cooking in the nurse's arm. He doesn't know anything about the world, and the child was completely under the maintenance of the mother. So he don't know what to do and where to do. So he's totally dependent on the mother. Mewling and cooking in the nurse's arm is making small noise that a cat makes, and cooking means just vomiting on the in the nurse's arms. Nurses means nurses here refers to mother. If he drink milk, just his vomit on the nurse's arms, means mother arms. So he was totally dependent on mother. So this is the first stage. What is the first stage? The infant. The infant is totally and completely under the maintenance of the mother. What is the glossary? Mewling, a small weak noise that a cat makes. Cooking means vomiting. So here Shakespeare expands the first stage. What is the first stage? The infant. In infant, the child doesn't know anything what to do and where to do and where to go, like this. So he was totally dependent, and he was completely under the maintenance of the mother. Then what is the second stage? Yes, now you are all in the second stage. School going student. Do you like this stage, students? Yes, no. But you didn't like this stage. Why? Because you are having lot of work and you have to read lot of things. So you feel very bored in this stage. Is it true, students? Yes, exactly. Because no one like this stage. Because we feel exam fear, then lot of works. So like this. So in this stage also, Shakespeare explains like this. You can see this slide. Then the whining schoolboy with his sad shell and shining morning face creeping like snail unwillingly to school. Then the whining schoolboy with his sad shell and shining morning face creeping like snail unwillingly to school. So what is the meaning of whining? Means expressing happiness. Creeping means walking slowly. Satchel means a shoulder bag. So here the poet describes, here the boy doesn't go to school willingly. So he was unwilling to school. He didn't like to go to school. So the boy doesn't go to the school willingly. And the schoolboy here is compared to the snail. Why? Because the snail is moving, creeping like a snail means the snail is moving very slowly. So like that, the boy is moving and creeping like a snail, and he's walking slowly to the school because he didn't like to go to school. He's unwilling to go to school. So he compares the boy to a snail. And the boy carries his shoulder bag on his back. So the satchel, his satchel means a shoulder bag. He carries his shoulder bag on his back and is going to school unwillingly. So this is the meaning of the line. Then the whining schoolboy with his sad shell and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. So here the poet compares the boy to a snail because the snail moves very slowly. So likewise, the boy is going to school very, very slowly because he didn't like to go to school. So this is the meaning of this line. This satchel means he carries his shoulder bag on his back and he walks to school very very slowly because he didn't like to go to school. He is unwilling to go to school. He didn't like to go to school. So this is the meaning of this line, and this is the second stage. What is the second stage? School going boy and complaining boy. So the first stage we are seeing is infant, and the second stage is school going student. Then what is the third stage? Yes, the lover stage. And then the lover, sighing like furnace, the woeful ballad made to his mistress eyebrow. So what in our life, in everyone's life, this is a part of, definitely there will, this part will be in everyone's life. Yes. And then the lover, sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress eyebrow. So what is meant by furnace here? Place where fire is made. And woeful means unhappy. Ballad means sad song. Mistress means the lover's girlfriend. Here it means the lover, and then the lover. The third stage is lover, sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad. So it means the lover sighs like a furnace. Sighs means in Tamil we can say perumuchu. So like that. It means the lover sighs like a furnace. And ballad here means unhappy or sad song. So the lover is singing sad song about his lover, about his mistress means about his girlfriend. So he was totally depressed and he was always singing a song about his girlfriend. So he was singing very very sad song. Ballad means sad songs. He was always thinking about his lover, and he says the lover sighs like a furnace. So this is the meaning of this line. And also he says he is very busy composing ballads for his beloved and yearns for her attention. So in this stage he becomes a lover in this third stage, and he is very busy composing ballads for his beloved and yearns for her attention. So this is the meaning of this line. And the third stage is the lover. What is the first stage? Infant. And second stage is school going student. And third stage is lover. So what is the glossary? Furnace means place where fire is made. Woeful means unhappy. Ballad means sad song. Mistress means the lover's girlfriend. So again I will tell you the first stage. What is the first stage? At first the infant. Here the child is totally dependent on, he was completely under the maintenance of the mother. He don't know anything to do, so he was totally dependent on mother. So the first stage is infant. He plays in the arms of his mother. He often vomits and cries in this stage. So in this second stage, the boy is an unwilling school going student. So he didn't like to go to school. And here the poet compares the boy to a snail. The creeping like a snail means moving very slowly. And he is an unwilling school going student. So this is the second stage. And what's the third stage? In third stage, he becomes a lover in his third stage, and he's very busy composing ballads for his beloved and he yearns for her attention. So this is the appreciation question for these three stages. What is the first one? What is the world compared to? Here the world is compared to a stage. So what is the world compared to? The world is compared to a stage. So here the whole world is compared to a stage. The poet compares the whole world to a stage, and they have their exits and their entrances. What do the words exits and entrances mean? Exits means death and entrance means birth. So exits means death. Here the man enters into the world through birth and exits the world through death. So here exits means death and entrance means birth. What is the first stage of a human's life? What is the first stage? This is the infant. An infant is the first stage of human life. Infant is the first stage of human life. In this stage, he was totally dependent on the mothers. He often cries and he often vomits like this. And he plays in the arms of his mother. So that is the first stage. Describe the second stage of life as depicted by Shakespeare. In the second stage, he emerges as a school child. So he's a school-going child. He slings his bag over his shoulder and creeps most reluctantly to school. So he carries his school bag and he moves very slowly to school. How does a man play a lover's role? How does he play? As a lover, he is busy composing ballads for his beloved and yearns for her attention. So he's always composing ballads, means sad song for his beloved, and he always yearns for her attention. So he was busy in composing ballads. So he becomes a lover in his third stage. So these are the appreciation question for the three stages. Hope you would have all understood, children. Yes, definitely. In the next video we can see the next four stages. So students, while teaching, just take down this in your fair note and it will be very useful to you. Thank you, students. Have a nice day and be safe, students.